3 days before our wedding, my fiancée said she needed closure nights with her ex, so I canceled everything and exposed her at her own bachelorette party. I was sitting at my desk on a normal Wednesday afternoon when my phone buzzed. I looked down expecting a simple text from my fiancée, Brooke. We were only 3 days away from our wedding, something we had been planning for months. But instead of something sweet or excited about our big day, I found myself staring at a message that knocked the breath out of me. She wrote, "Hey babe, just wanted to be transparent with you. Derek reached out and we've been talking. He's having a hard time with his dad's cancer diagnosis and needs support. I'm going to spend Thursday and Friday night at his place, just for closure before our big day. Nothing will happen. Promise. The wedding's still on. Love you." I read that text 3 different times, each word hitting me harder than the last. Derek, the same ex-boyfriend she claimed to be completely over when we first started dating 2 years ago. And now, just 72 hours before our wedding, she was planning to sleep at his apartment for closure. My hands were shaking as I held the phone, but I didn't blow up. I didn't argue or beg. Instead, I simply typed back, "Do what you need to do." She replied almost instantly, "OMG, you're the best. I knew you'd understand. This is why I'm marrying you. So mature and secure. Can't wait to be your wife on Saturday." I put my phone down and just stared at my computer screen for several minutes, feeling numb. Then a cold calmness settled over me. If she thought I was going to sit back and smile while she played house with her ex-boyfriend days before our wedding, she had another thing coming. I picked up my phone again and started making calls. The first one was to the venue. "Hi, this is Thomas Reed. I have a wedding booked for this Saturday, and I need to cancel it." The coordinator sounded shocked, tried to warn me about losing deposits, but I didn't care. Cancel everything. The flowers, the catering, the DJ, all of it. Please process the cancellation immediately. Next, I called the resort in Hawaii where our honeymoon was booked. Cancelled. Another deposit lost, but I couldn't care less. Then I called my best man, Jordan. "Dude, the wedding's off. Can you let the groomsmen know?" He was stunned, asked me what happened, so I forwarded him Brooke's text. There was a long silence before he finally said, "She really thought you'd be okay with this?" I just told him to spread the word to the guys. By 6 that evening, everything was cancelled. I had already packed my belongings out of our apartment while she was busy with work. I left behind what was hers, including the engagement ring, which I placed on the kitchen counter with a sticky note that read, "For closure." The timing couldn't have been better because her bachelorette party was that same night, and her maid of honor, Gretchen, worked at the venue. The news of the cancellation would spread fast, and I wouldn't even need to say a word. I turned off my phone and went to Jordan's place to wait. Sure enough, by 9:23 p.m., the explosion began. Jordan was monitoring social media, and he showed me a story from Gretchen. At first, it was all happy faces, Brooke and her friends in bride tribe shirts, drinking and laughing at a rooftop bar. But then the venue's automated email system sent Brooke a confirmation about the wedding cancellation. She had insisted on being copied on all vendor emails for organization. The next story Gretchen posted at 9:31 was chaotic. She wrote, "Emergency. Does anyone know where Tom is? Brooke is freaking out." The texts started flooding in to Jordan's phone since I had already blocked everyone. Gretchen asked if I was with him. He replied, "Yeah, he's here. No mistake. Ask Brooke about Derek." For 20 minutes there was silence. Then another message. "You're overreacting and ruining her life over nothing. But nothing doesn't look like spending 2 nights with an ex just before your wedding." Soon after, Brooke's mother, Helen, started calling Jordan's phone non-stop. 17 missed calls. The voicemails were full of screaming, accusations, and even threats of suing me for the deposits. Joke was on them. Everything was in my name. By 11 that night, even Derek himself had started texting Jordan, begging for me to reconsider. He tried to play the sick dad card, saying Brooke was just being nice. But Jordan responded with the truth. "My guy, you literally told the groom you were going to spend 2 nights with his bride before the wedding. What did you think would happen? Meanwhile, videos surfaced online from Brooke's own cousin. There she was, sitting on the floor of a bar bathroom, tiara crooked, mascara running down her face, while her friends tried to console her. Someone off camera joked, "Maybe Derek can help." And Brooke screamed, "Derek is why this is happening." That was just the beginning. The very next morning, Thursday, which was supposed to be the first night of Brooke's so-called closure with Derek, I woke up at Jordan's apartment to even more drama. Brooke had made a public Facebook post at 3 in the morning. In it, she claimed that our wedding was postponed because I was suffering from a mental health crisis. According to her, I was struggling with severe anxiety and paranoia, and I had made false accusations against her. She ended the post with, "Please keep Tom in your prayers during this difficult time. I stand by him no matter what." Reading that nearly made me laugh out loud. She tried to flip the entire situation and paint me as some broken man, all while pretending to be the supportive partner. I decided that I wasn't going to let her control the story, so I made my first and only public post. I uploaded a screenshot of her original text message about spending 2 nights with Derek, and underneath it I wrote, "No mental health crisis. No paranoia." Brooke told me she would be staying with her ex-boyfriend in the days leading up to our wedding. I wished her well and canceled the wedding. That's all. And just to add the final nail, I mentioned that Derek's dad, the excuse for this whole closure, was not sick at all. In fact, he was busy playing in a golf tournament the day before. The comments section exploded. People were furious at Brooke for lying and pretending to be the victim. By that afternoon, the circus truly arrived. Brooke, her parents, Gretchen, and even Derek himself showed up at Jordan's apartment where I was staying. They pounded on the door and demanded that I open up. Jordan, who had a Ring doorbell camera, recorded the entire thing. Helen screamed, "Thomas Reed, you open this door right now. We need to discuss this like adults." Her father, Roger, tried a softer approach. "Son, I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but you're going to fix this. Do you have any idea how much we've spent? Please talk to us." Then Derek, the man at the center of it all, had the nerve to speak. "Bro, come on. Don't do her like this." Jordan's voice came through the speaker, full of sarcasm. "Did you seriously bring the dude she was supposed to spend 2 nights with to convince him to marry her anyway?" There was silence, until Brooke tried to defend herself. "It wasn't like that. I just needed to be sure there were no unresolved feelings before I got married." To which Jordan replied, "And were there?" She hesitated, then said, "That's irrelevant." But everyone watching knew it was very relevant. Brooke finally snapped and started screaming. "He doesn't get to humiliate me like this. Tommy, you're being pathetic. You'll regret this for the rest of your life. I was doing you a favor by marrying you." That last line made my decision crystal clear. A favor? She truly believed she was above me, even while she was planning to sneak off with Derek. Security eventually escorted them all away, but not before Brooke shouted more threats about making sure everyone knew the kind of person I really was. Little did she know, I had already posted the receipts. Later that same night, she posted a story from Derek's apartment. 2 wine glasses on his coffee table, a caption that read, "Sometimes the universe shows you where you're meant to be." She was still planning her closure even after the wedding was officially canceled. Friday morning brought even more drama. The country club where the rehearsal dinner was supposed to be called me. The manager said Brooke and her mother were there, demanding that the reservation still be honored. The manager was confused because I was the account holder and had already canceled. Brooke even tried to charge the bill to my credit card for a new reservation. When they refused, she exploded in the background, screaming and yelling so loud that I could hear her over the phone. Eventually, Roger called from another number, begging me to just let the dinner happen. But I told him straight, "She spent last night at Derek's apartment. Still think I'm overreacting?" He went silent and hung up. That night, Brooke tried to spin the story again. She went live on Instagram, already drunk, crying into the camera. "I just want everyone to know the truth. I never cheated. I was just trying to get closure. Derek and I had history. Tom never understood that connection. but people watching immediately called her out. One comment said, "Girl, you're literally at Derek's apartment right now." She tried to hide the background, but Derek's unique wall art was already visible. The video ended with Derek grabbing the phone and saying, "Babe, you're making it worse." By Saturday, the day our wedding was supposed to happen, I was relaxing at a peaceful mountain resort. Meanwhile, Brooke and her family were still trying to pretend the wedding was just postponed. About 30 guests actually showed up at the venue, dressed up, only to find another event going on. Brooke's relatives wandering around while tech workers were doing a corporate retreat was almost comical. Her mother tried to force the venue to give them a space, but the police were called again. To top it off, Derek's dad showed up because he thought his son was getting married. When he learned Derek had lied about having cancer just to get sympathy from Brooke, he yelled at him in front of everyone, saying, "You told people I had cancer to sleep with an engaged woman. I raised you better than this." Even he turned on both of them. Brooke's last desperate attempt came that night when she used the key to our old apartment. She put on her wedding dress, stood in what used to be our bedroom, and sent me a picture with the caption, "This could have been our night. I'm here if you want to talk." I simply replied, "Check your email." I had already sent notice to the landlord that I was moving out and wouldn't be paying rent anymore. She couldn't afford the place alone. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was brutal. Brooke moved in with Derek into his mother's basement apartment. Her parents' marriage fell apart when Roger learned Helen had supported Brooke's closure nights because she thought Derek had money. Even venues blacklisted Brooke and her family after their public meltdowns. And the best part? Derek still hasn't proposed. He keeps telling her marriage is just a piece of paper. According to her own sister, Brooke recently screamed at him, "You ruined my life for nothing." His cold reply was, "I thought you loved me for me. As for me, I came out on top. I got promoted at work, started dating Elise from my rock climbing group, and found peace." Even Derek's own ex-wife reached out to tell me, "Welcome to the club. He'll cheat on her within 6 months." I just smiled and thought to myself, not my circus anymore. And truly, it never will be again.